Hey you guys, Desmond here,
And Cretia.
and welcome back to the channel. And today we are here to discuss two episodes of the Boulet Brothers Dragula Season 6. So, before we get into it, I want to remind everyone to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We are so close to our goal of 1,000 subscribers, and we'll love to reach it as soon as possible. The only way to do that is if you subscribe right now. So, we had two episodes.
Hmm. Oh. They were good. They were good.
Yeah, I will say both episodes were pretty good. We had some fun, especially the challenge for the second episode where they were lip syncing with the car. I thought that was a
Yeah.
really,
I thought that was
I
cute.
thought that was real cute, real fun. The winners of these two episodes, though, I was confusion. Well, mostly the second episode. I love Yuri down, I do, but I was very
Mm-hmm.
confusion. So let's go ahead and get into the gig. So we got welcomed by the Boulet brothers, and we found out that this week is Dungeons and Drag Queens.
Yes, I was so crunk. Oh.
I was like, oh, if
Who
you just
thought I would
know
be so deep
the
in my
turn
30s?
that both of our lives made in the past year when it
Right.
comes to D&D, because we both started getting into it around the same time. I want to say you jumped in first. Oh no,
I
I
did.
think technically I did with Dungeons and Drag Queens on Dimension 20.
Right.
I watched that and I was like, oh, that was cute. Probably not going to revisit that. Then you got into it. And then one day I caught a clip of Dungeons and Drag Queens and I'm like, let me go see what else they got. And then that's how I got into.
And the funny thing is, we're on totally opposite ends of the spectrum for D&D
Yeah, we're on
because
two
I
different
went
platforms.
full on Critical Role YouTube, and you went straight up
Dimension
Dropout.
20. Drop out. But see, Dropout got me because they have so much good shit on Dropout. So much good shit on there. And you know me, I love to laugh. I love comedy. I love stand up. And they have a lot of improv and a lot of comedy on there and I'm like, "Oh, I love it here. I
Mm.
love it here."
And the funny thing is, I just can't get into it because I'm so used to like the drama and the excitement and the role play from Critical Role, and they don't do all of Dimension
Yeah, they
20.
do. Dimension
Well,
20 do.
I don't know. I think they just do it differently than
I will say they do it differently because when I watched Calamity,
Calamity
Calamity,
because you keep making it sound like a venereal disease.
when I watched Calamity, it was a very different experience. Even though Brendan was the DM for it, it was
Mm-hmm.
very different experience. I enjoyed my time though. I did. I said I'm gonna jump over and get caught up to you, but I need to catch up on all the D20 campaigns that they've done.
But that's never gonna happen because oh my god,
I
Critical
am
Role campaign 3 is almost over.
really.
Yes.
That's good.
Campaign 3 is almost over. Like, we finally got. Never mind.
Yep, yep. For those who may be watching who aren't where you are, let's just put a pin in it there and let's get back into the boulets. So we come into the laboratory. Everybody walks in. They're debating on who should stay and who should go. And we
Should they
find out,
stay or should they go?
yeah, so we find out that Jaharia is the one who returned from the extermination, which we already knew that from the week before, but still.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the alarm goes off and the boulets pop up. So the boulets actually give them a race in a class for the Dungeons and Drag Queen look,
Mm-hmm.
which I imagine they told them prior to this
Yeah.
because I don't think there was any way to get such elaborate looks done as fast as they did it.
And if I'm gonna be honest, I really think that they just told the Boulets what they were doing, and the Boulets were like, yeah, we'll just say we rolled for those. Because there were way too many trolls.
And there was the same roll. If you notice, it was laying on 19
Yeah,
and
it was the
2.
same. It was the
Same
same
clip.
D20s, and it was the same 2 and 12 each time.
I'm like, girl, but
They just
okay.
showed it from different angles.
I'm like, okay. And then they also had to do a choreographed fight scene or battle scene
Mm-hmm.
on an actual LARPing site. Which
Yes.
I'm not sure if I could ever get into LARPing.
Yeah, that's the only part of D&D I don't think I could get into is the
But
LARPing.
I'm willing to try. I'll go give it my full
Now,
all that one time. Now, if I love it, great, I'll be back. But if I don't love it, I'll just stick to my tabletop.
right. Because, like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I could go to Ren Fair. I could do that. I
Uh-huh.
want to do Ren Fair. But I don't know if I could get into LARPing. Because the first time somebody shoots something at me, I'm going to get mad. And I'm going to forget, oh, we're role playing.
So,
That's why you're shooting foam darts at
yeah.
me.
So this is what everybody was. Asia was a tiefling beastmaster. Auntie was a troll druid. Jaharia was a goblin wizard. Yuri was a troll warlock. Gray was a goblin warrior. And Pi was an orc warrior.
I love the fact that I know what they're talking about.
Um, because Dimension 20 is so elaborate with their storytelling aspect,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know most of those because, a lot of Dimension 20 is like, oh, just a regular everyday person ended up in this world. And then, yeah, they fit the description of being an orc, but because I don't know the definition of an orc, I'm just be like, oh, they're just really mad all the time.
Yes, and you see me, I got.
Yeah, I
got
see
the
it.
books.
I see it.
I have the guide. I have the 2014 and the 2024
Mm-hmm.
player's guide, and I got the Dungeon Master's guide.
See, that's all I need. I need a good dungeon master. That's all. So the monsters get to pair themselves up with each other. So the way they divvied up was Asia went with Yuri, Auntie went with Goblin, Auntie went with Gray, and Jaharia went with Pi. So we see them getting their looks together.
I knew something was going to happen. I knew the person that left was going to leave as soon as I saw all that sequence.
We saw them rehearsing their fight scenes.
And
Pi
that,
and Auntie.
that one person was going to have a problem as soon as they couldn't hold the bow and arrow the right way.
Pi and Auntie had another alliance talk with. I'm sorry, but this format doesn't really give alliance.
No.
Like, there was that one time when they got the vote who was the bottom two, so I'm like, okay, cool. But, like, this isn't like, the top competitor gets to send a bottom competitor home. So,
Right. Like, I'm confused.
we could be buddies in this competition,
Right,
and I'll
you
have
can
your
be
back, but it's kind of, there's no point of using the word alliance.
Right. Alliances only work if you're sending people home. And they've only had them send people home one other time, 2 times.
Yeah, I think it's been twice this season. The first time they got I think each time they just picked who the bottom two was, or something along that line.
Right.
So it's now time for our hostesses with the mostesses, the Boulet brothers. What did you think of the Boulets and your score?
Oh, these were gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
I want both of them.
Mm-hmm.
These are A pluses.
The taller one, Drock, she gets a plus.
You don't
Swan, on
like
the other
Swan?
hand,
You don't like Dominion Scout?
it's the shoe again. Like, if that was a nasty pump
Facts.
to give that some length to them legs,
If that was a soak hate heel.
yes, I feel like I can only give that like an A minus, but Drac A plus.
And then it has to be the right soak hate. The stiletto.
Pump in the club. I'm
Because
sorry.
not the pump. Because there's soak hate pumps. Not the pump. You like a stiletto.
Now, this week we are joined by David, actor and writer who's here pretty much every season. Love David. And our season
That's
3
good.
winner, Landon Sider.
Who's also here every season now.
Yeah,
I love
Landon.
them.
Yeah, Landon is a recurring judge now. Since
Yeah.
last season, Landon has been there as a recurring judge. From my understanding, not all of the winners of the Boulet Brothers Dragula, but a good chunk of them are involved in the backstage of everything now. Like, I know at one point Vander Van Odd was a part of a lot of the production backstage. I know
Mm-hmm.
Landon is now, so I think that's cool that the Boulets will be like, yeah, previous winners, come help.
Right. You
well,
need a job? What?
you need a job,
Oh,
we got you. We got you.
COVID happened? You need work. Come work with us.
So, up first, we had Gray Matter. These screenshots are rough. We will see them better when they're on the main stage. But we had Gray Matter here. This shot of Auntie.
Mm-hmm. Perfection.
I saw that screenshot when I took it. I opened it up. I was like, I had to go back because I was just looking at this shot. I'm like, oh wait, it's still going on. Hold on. Love this shot. But yes, they battled each other. What did you think of their battle?
That battle was okay. It wasn't the most exciting for me.
It wasn't the most exciting, but it was the most, I'll say, realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Because the one that I liked the most was just so short.
Mm.
But yeah, these two just really worked well together. I enjoyed it. And then we had Pi and Jaharia. Sis, Jaharia, that look. Now, she did say she didn't know nothing about D&D. So
Right.
she probably just Googled something. And was like, okay, bet, I'll do that.
Right.
Yeah, it was a no. And, you know, they complimented them for their fight scene, but I didn't really care for it. Me personally. What did you think of their fight scene? Their battle?
Their fight scene, I thought it was really good. You know, especially with the this little SFX with the little flames in the air and stuff like that. Like it was giving what it was supposed to give. I'm assuming the little flame things were like eldritch blasts.
Yeah. Fireball.
Oh my god, I'm such a gore. I know what it is. like and they gave a lot of like spell casting, which I liked. Uh
Well, when
I
you have a
think
wizard in the fight, it makes sense to do so.
right, because I think Pi is like a barbarian, right?
Someone orc.
Is a barbarian
Let me go back.
class,
Let me look at my notes.
race, orc, class, barbarian,
Orc warrior.
warrior.
Mm.
Okay. I gave a little bit different then, but okay, because like the difference is like a warrior is a lot of melee, so they're you know in the thick of it, whereas
Into
you
the
know when
thick
you're a
of it?
warlock you can kind of stand back and just you know kaiju them real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I watch too much D&D.
But we're gonna move on to Asia Consent and Yuri.
That
Now,
pissed me off so much.
their fight was my favorite. It was just so short. I blinked and it was over. I'm like, no, I'm just getting into it.
They did have a good fight. I think what took me out of it is the fact that Asia's sitting here and she's holding her bow and arrow like this, and I'm like, B, you gotta.
My biggest thing, what I really liked about this is somebody actually died.
Right.
I was like, yes, there's a clear winner because the other ones, I'm like, okay, you can say this person won, you can say that person won. There was a clear winner here.
Right.
So now that we're here on the main stage, we can get a better look at their looks. So we'll do them in pairs as they were. First, we had Gray Matter and Auntie. I thought they were great. Both of these looks were immaculate.
Mm.
Gray, again with the prosthetics. Just, come on, Houston, Texas, okay? I'm rooting for our Texas. But yeah, both of them get an A+ for me.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree with your assessment because Gray's just giving everything. Auntie, Auntie's giving like a really good. What is she supposed to be again? Half orc druid.
What did you think of Asia and Yuri?
So Asia gave really good tiefling.
Mm-hmm.
Like I loved her tiefling. I agree that I wish her makeup had carried from the bodysuit up because unless she had just did a solid red suit, like you just did a solid red face with a little bit of black to it, and your bodysuit has like fire elements to it, you could have worked some other kind of light. Again, giving critical role, some like fire Ashari or some type of tiefling like that. But other than that, and the bow not being big enough, this gets a good C from me.
I give them both B minus. Well, no, I give Yuri a C. I did not really care for Yuri's.
Yuri's makeup was bad.
Yeah. And then
that wig was like fresh out the bag.
Yeah. And then we have Pi and Jaharia. I saw where Jaharia was going.
Right.
And I know she was trying to drag it up by adding the sequence. But I don't think this challenge called for that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then Pies, I'm not. Yeah,
I'm not the biggest fan of Pies.
I'm shocked of the bottom two. We can go ahead and get into that. The winners were Asia and Grey Matter. I agree with that. I think overall they had the best looks and they had a really good fight.
They were Auntie and Grey Matter.
And then we find out that Asia and Jaharia was the bottom two this week. Now, you know me, I love judging in teams. So Pi would have been next to Jaharia here. Because although Asia's look wasn't all the way there, I want to give her and Yuri props for the small bit of a fight we got.
With a clear winner.
With a clear winner. So we find out that they are going to have to get a tattoo as their extermination. And it's going to be the ugliest thing they've ever seen before, which it wasn't too ugly. It was a little disturbing, but not ugly.
Right.
So nothing much happened in the cauldron, but when we get to the extermination, our extra sister, Cynthia Doll, is here. And basically she's going to be reading 3 trivia questions. If you know the answer, you don't have to get that portion of the tattoo on you. Now, I didn't get a screenshot of the tattoo because I don't think YouTube would like that.
Yeah.
And Yuri, my lord. Asia got 2 of her questions wrong and the last one right. But she still chose to get the rest of the tattoo. Now, I would have 2 because that would look weird, just 2/3 of that tattoo without the legs. Baby, if you don't get... I'll be like, no, go ahead. Y'all already done got started. I'm over... Come on. Go ahead and give me the rest of this here tattoo. But afterwards...
I was so proud of myself that I knew all them answers.
I didn't know none of them. I'm going to be honest with you.
The only one I got wrong was the first one, which was a candle.
Yeah.
But the second one I got...
Well, technically, the last one, the answer was mirror. I said cell phone. And I'm like, well, technically, you can see, I can see me right now. So I'm like, I was in the neighborhood in my opinion, but it wasn't the answer.
Right. No, I got the last 2 right, so I would have just had the head, and the head by itself would have been cool.
Oh yeah, if it was just the head, I would have been fine. But once I done got the middle part, and give me the whole thing. Go ahead and give me the whole thing, honey.
Because then the head I could have got covered up with something.
Oh, no, I would have kept the head. I thought the head was fine. Honestly, whatever the tattoo was, I would have kept it because I'm like, look, it's my tattoo from Dragula. Like, that extermination, I can get down with that. I'm like, yeah, come on. Tattoo me here, my leg.
I don't have any tattoos, so.
Well, I only have one. So, having another one.
I thought about getting one.
I want to get more.
I don't know how far into my midlife crisis I am just yet.
Jesus. So after the extermination, we find out that Jaharia is the one who got exterminated. Do you agree?
Yeah.
She saw the real form of Swan and got her blood sucked like a vampire. Again, walking out of the cauldron. I love that, it's all around the set this season. So we return back into the laboratory. They're chatting. They're trying to figure out who it is, which they were all like, it's Asia. Asia's coming back. And it was. It was our good sis Asia. So we come in and Auntie, I know we don't have a lot of time, but Auntie, this episode really got on every nerve I had.
The whole episode.
The whole episode. I don't know why you were trying to push everybody's buttons. I'm not sure if you were like, it's the end of the season, I need to stand out so they don't send me home.
Mm-hmm.
And, everybody knows the Boulets love mess. So if you give them mess, they'll be willing to keep you around for a few extra weeks.
Right.
Because if you remember that whole Titan situation where we got that love triangle for 8 episodes.
God.
Oh, my God. But yeah.
That was annoying.
Love you, Auntie, but you got on my nerves this episode. You did.
Look, Auntie got on my nerves at the beginning of the episode, and Pie got on my nerves at the end of it.
Oh, Pie got on my nerves during the cauldron. I'm like, send this bitch home.
I was like, what you mean? It should have been me. It should have been me. It should have been me. What the you mean? Let's get into it.
Okay, so the Boulets pop up and let them know that this week they will have to put together a Frankenhooker look. And afterwards, they will have to do a lip sync to Touch Me, I Want Your Body by Samantha Fox, which, come on, 80s classic. Come on, 80s classic.
We had an 80s week.
Because they didn't say anything, they didn't say what the song was. So I was thinking maybe it'll be one of their songs, some song that's kind of like spooky horror-esque. Mm-hmm. But baby, Touch Me started playing. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. Because this is my song. this is the first time I had to look up a song on Dragula. I'm like, wait, I ain't got to look this up.
Touch me.
I don't have to look this up, not one bit. But then they said that this week there's another curse to be won in the Fright Feet. So they're going to have to play Dragula trivia while having a shock collar tied around their necks. So our extra sister's back, and of course Israel. And yeah, I would have got shocked damn near every question. There was only a few that I really knew.
I'd have got shocked every question.
There was a few.
I pay attention, but my memory is...
And
my TV show memory.
And like what gets me is when they were asking about certain exterminations, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. But when they started asking for quotes, I'm like, oh, wait. I don't remember the quote. I remember who got exterminated, how they got exterminated, because I was hoping they would have brought up how Coco Kane was exterminated so I could talk about how racist that was. But hey, I'm going to be quiet.
Yeah, that still disturbs me to this day.
Yeah, and I love the Boulets, so that was just a small mark on there. I'm like, I know y'all probably didn't think that deep in it, but as a person, a black person seeing that, I was like...
In the middle of Trump era...
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. But anyway...
No, ma'am, no ham, no spam,
no turkey. And they kept saying that Asia got the easier questions, which I will say her questions were easier, but she was answering other people's questions.
Right.
She would go, blah, 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 like J. Jolie. And, like, the answer was J. Jolie. So it's like, she knew it.
She knew.
So regardless, what her questions was, she knew y'all's answers. And y'all didn't know them.
Exactly. Talk about she got easier ones. She didn't get easier ones. She just knew her answers.
And she received the curse of baldness. And you can cast the curse right before the floor show. So that means you can see what everybody's doing and be like, okay. Roxy St. James. No wiggy for you.
I think if I was going to be on Dragula, Roxy St. James would not be my drag name. Well, I don't know what my drag name would be.
I'm going to say it would be the same because if I was to pop up on Dragula, it would still be Danny Renee, regardless. Like Yuri kept her name from Drag Race. Well, she dropped the guy,
Right.
but yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that was for legal reasons.
But we got them working on their outfits, and Asia decides to cast the curse on herself.
Right.
Which that I was shocked with everybody else. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was something you could do.
Right.
And honestly, in my opinion, she didn't need it. Hell, in my opinion, she should have won this week. But we'll talk about that here in a second. Let's get to the main stage where we have the Boulets. What did you think of our hostesses with the mostesses?
I want this.
I need this. I want it in every color.
Every color.
Every color combination.
Yes.
Give me a red and green one for Christmas.
Give me a blue and silver one for Hanukkah.
Give me a gold and white one for New Year's.
Ooh.
Yes. Yes. They get A pluses from me. I don't know about you.
If you couldn't tell, that was also an A plus. I want the outfit.
Now, we are joined this week by Joe Bob Briggs, who is a horror critic and drive-in host. And then we're joined by Diana Darcy the Mail Girl Prince, who is the co-host of The Last Drive-In. She looks familiar. I've seen her probably in something or on something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, good to see y'all here. So, let's get into these looks as quickly as possible. Up first, we have Yuri. What did you think of Yuri?
I thought Yuri did a pretty decent job.
I thought Yuri did great, especially with her not being strong in performances as we've seen, you know, on Down Under and now seeing here. I thought she did good. And the look overall was really cute. What did you think? What's your score for her look?
I give her look a B plus.
I agree with your B plus. Up next we have Pie. I think Pie just missed the mark with this one.
It's a no for me, dog.
I have to agree. It's a no for me, dog. I just think Pie really missed the mark. Because I think they were looking for more of the sexy glamour.
Yeah,
and like I get where
not Frankenstein.
Yeah, I get where Pie's brain went. I'm just like that's not what they wanted.
Right.
Up next is Gray Matter. First of all, yes. Second of all, yes. Third of all, A minus.
I agree.
Up next is Auntie Heroine. What did you think of Auntie?
I see what the Boulets didn't like about it. And I agree.
I agree as well.
But other than that, the outfit.
But so the outfit was cute.
Yeah, like okay. In terms of outfit, it was an A plus. In terms of doing the prompt, this was like a C.
Outfit wise, this is really cute. I wouldn't say A plus. For the concept of this challenge, I think I would agree with the C because it's not bad, but it kind of missed the mark in another way than how Pie missed the mark. At least Auntie was in the neighborhood.
Right.
Pie was on a different planet. Asia Consent, A plus. A freaking plus. A all the pluses.
Right.
Like, we can't show too much of Auntie's. But I loved every second of it. And the wig was not needed.
Right.
Like, you did that. You did that.
Right.
What is your score?
Like, you know what? I'm going to do it to myself because I don't need the wig.
She was like, looking at my wig, I don't need it. I'll cast mine on myself. So, out of all these monsters here, who was your favorite?
And why was it Asia Consent?
And why was it Asia Consent? Yeah. Like, she really did that. Um, the Boulets asked a question that I love. I know a lot of people don't love it, but I love it. And it's who should go home tonight and why? So Asia said gray matter.
Right.
Auntie, gray matter, and Pie all said Yuri. And then
Right.
Yuri said Pie. If I had to pick out of this lineup, I probably would have said Pie because Pie gets on my nerve.
Right.
I love Pie, but in this competition, I'm just like, ooh, please, just. And I think it's more of the cauldron after this that really
sours you on Pie.
Yeah. So not thinking about that, I probably would have said Yuri as well.
Right, and like I'd have been like Asia. I didn't know I could say Yuri.
Yeah, Yuri won. Like, well,
Yuri won.
Yeah, speaking of that, Yuri is the winner of this week's challenge. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And won a cruise from the Big Gay Cruise, I believe it was called.
Uh-huh.
Which they used to partner with Drag Race, like early Drag Race days. So it's good to see that they're still around.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Yuri won. I think Asia should have won this, me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Yuri did great, but Asia ate down.
Right. I think the reason why Yuri won was because she was doing all the flips and dips and stuff she wasn't doing on Drag Race.
And she wasn't really even doing that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but to them, that's not stuff they see all the time.
So we find out that our bottom two is Auntie and Pie. And they are going to be put in a freezer that goes to negative 94 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Fahrenheit, because, you know, there are people who watch around the world Fahrenheit. And they didn't know this at the time, but water was going to be splashed on them.
Yeah.
So cauldron happened. We're just going to go because Pie really got on my nerves in this cauldron, and we're running out of time.
Should have been me. Should have been me.
Like, girl, you missed the prompt. You really did. You got the Frankenstein part right, but you forgot about the hooker. So I'm glad they made Pie get out of that bodysuit. They're like, change.
Right,
go put on a t-shirt.
That would not have been fair.
Yeah. This is one of those exterminations where I'd have been like, you know what? I don't want to do this. Or I would not have been in there long. I'll probably been there like 3 minutes. Okay, let me out.
Well, to be completely honest, by health standards, they would have got in trouble if they'd actually left them in there for longer than 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you run the risk of somebody getting like frostbite and things like that. I think they, like, when it comes to these things here, I think they go based off of what happens in the cauldron. And then, you know, they sit there, they make you do it, and then they're like, okay, yeah, we know who we're actually going to get rid of.
Because I wouldn't have lasted longer. Like, as soon as they would have started spraying me with that water, and it's already cold as hell up in here, all right, let me out. I'm begging on, let me out.
Look, as much as I like the cold,
I love the cold. Love it.
Like, one or two things would have happened. I'd have sat there and I'd have went to my sunken place, and I would have ended up like accidentally dying in there because my stupid self would have went to sleep. Because in extreme heat or in extreme cold, my body's gonna do one of two things. My body's gonna do one thing. It's gonna shut down, and I'm gonna go to sleep because that's its way of preserving itself, is to go to sleep. Like, if I'm hot, I'm gonna sit there and I'm just gonna go sleep. If I'm cold, I'm gonna sit there and eventually just be like, you know what, sleep, because that's the only way I won't feel pain, is to go to sleep. So I'd have sat there and they'd have sprayed the water on me, and at some point in time, the water just wouldn't have affected me anymore, and I'd have kept my eyes closed and leaned up against the wall and went to sleep.
But after the extermination, we found out that Pie froze to death. Do you agree with Pie's extermination?
Yeah, especially
After that
cauldron.
cauldron, well, I had a feeling between the two it was going to be pie. But after that cauldron, I was like, girl, get out of here. Bye. It was nice to know you. Let's not do this again, okay?
Okay.
But yes, honey.
You started off on a good foot.
But
But then somewhere along the way,
we
you
lost
messed
focus.
up.
Yeah, we lost focus. But honey, that's all I got. You got anything else?
Nope.
All right. Where can the children find you on social media?
You can find me at Cresh McGill. That's CRESHAMCGILL on all social media.
And you can find me in the club, pocket full of bud, mama. But if I'm not there, you can find me on all social media platforms at Simply Desmond. That's SIMPLYDESMOND. Thank you so much for spending a piece of your day with us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye.